Hello, once again, it's Erin Page, and I'm here with another GLAAL story. Go live an amazing life. My next guest, Ryan Marl. Oh, you are going to love his story about how you have to meet people where they are, and what an inspiration he is. And I cannot wait for you to hear what he has to say. Let's take a listen. Ryan, how are
Hi.
you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Good. And you are coming to us from where?
I'm in Michigan. Just right now I'm just west of Detroit, probably about an hour west of Detroit.
Okay. All right. You're keeping busy and your business is thriving and all of that.
Yeah, everything's been really well. I mean, it could be better. I could be putting more effort into that, but I've got so much on my plate right now. It's just like trying to not like almost compartmentalize, like get some things done and then move on to the next one. So I've
Just
been
one step at a time. Did you know that there's no such thing as multitasking? I read it in a book. There are scientific studies that indicate that there's no such thing as multitasking. Our brain can only do one thing at a time. So give yourself grace. You are so involved in so many things uh, from the entrepreneurial side of you with your business and helping really the masses create a better life for themselves with health and wellness and helping people grow financially, all of that. Plus you're out and about with, there's a family business that you're involved with. So, I mean, you guys, this guy is amazing and he has such great energy. I mean, I have to brag on him a little bit because we met at an event at a big conference event center, and this guy walks by and I go, who is that? And that guy has great energy. I know, I'm paying you a huge compliment because, Ryan, there aren't a lot of people that make me stop in my tracks, and you were one of those. And we connected there and we've been friends since. And I just thank you so much for being who you are and being a light and an uplift. And thank you for participating in my GLAAL project. Go live an amazing life. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you've done for me since the time that I met you. It's just, I'm a huge mindset guy, huge energy guy. I love that. And I think you can feel or read so much from a person just by the energy. And so I've always tried to make sure I'm putting out what I want to get back from people. So I think that's super important. And then for you to just be like, I walked by you and you needed, like, I had to meet you. And so it was kind of cool because then when I walked back by, you were like, hey, I need to talk to you. And it was just like, it was awesome. So it was a really cool experience. And I'm glad that we connected because I do cherish you and your friendship. So it's been kind of awesome.
Yeah, it really has been awesome. So throughout all of it, you said you're a mindset guy and you uplift your team and others that have the joy of being around you. So is there anything in particular that you do to stay in the right mindset of, positivity and uplift?
I do a lot of personal development. I like to read. I like to learn to be better. I like to learn every day. I like to learn something new every day. And that's something I struggle with people in my life. I'll watch people and I'll be like, they're so content with, going to work and coming home and not doing anything. And like, I want to be learning a new skill every day. Like, what can I do to be better? And how can I impact someone in a positive way? And so I read a lot. I meditate some, not as much as I probably should. I make sure I work out and go to the gym because I think that's really important for, a healthy mindset to be in shape and to feel good about yourself. And then just to, treat people the way that I would want someone to treat me. I think that's it's real common sense, but I feel like a lot of people don't practice that. And so just going out and not taking out things on other people that they had nothing to do with. I like the phrase, don't bleed on people that didn't cut you. So that's
Good.
yeah, it's one of my favorites. I picked that up on Facebook a couple of years ago or a year ago or something. When I saw it, I was like, that is fire. So I like to do that. And I like to just, like when you go through things in life, you got to realize that it's not always about you, and sometimes a lot of us have a hard time doing that. And I had a hard time doing that for a long time. You'd be in a relationship or a business situation. It wouldn't go well or it wouldn't have the outcome that you wanted it to. And a lot of times people just want to get down about it, but they have to realize it's not always about you. It's not something you did necessarily. There's other variables in play. And so, especially with relationships, I mean, a lot of times it's timing, or you meet someone and you have this cute spark and they don't end up being the person you thought they were. or you meet someone and you have a huge spark and it's amazing and they're a wonderful person and the timing's not right. And it just, there's so many variables that go into it. And it's so easy for us as humans to just get down about it and to say, oh, well, man, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not attractive enough, or whatever. And it's not always about you. Again, it's, you are enough. So a lot of things I do, like, so with my business, I don't know if you want me to plug this or not, but every month when I get my supplement, there's a sticker in the box that says, Euphoria, being you has never felt better. And I love that saying. And so I take that sticker, I put it on my mirror in my bathroom. So every morning when I go in my bathroom, I see, you have never, or being you has never been better. And I think that's such a cool thing to realize. And so it's just like a lot of people will do you are confident, you are strong, those self-affirmations.
Yeah.
And I think those are really important because sometimes we forget them. And so it's important to remember who we are and what our strengths are and to really concentrate on our strengths. So I think those are what's important. And I read a book that said, it used to be everyone said, hey, focus on your weaknesses, get better at those. But I read a book, I think it was Grant Cardone, and he said, stop focusing on your weaknesses because that stuff discourages you. Because a lot of times you never get that good at them. So you're constantly failing over and over again. Start honing your strengths, become the best at what you do well. And so that's something I've really kind of taken into my life as well. And in relationships and in businesses, really focus on the things you do well and build that team around you that does the things that you don't do well, that they do well. So I think those are really important things.
And so what you've just said is that the law of attraction is real. So if we are focusing on our weaknesses, we're going to get more of our weaknesses presented into our life. But if we focus on the positivity, the positive aspects of us, of, that we're confident and that we are a radiant light, that we have a message, we have purpose, we are worthy, all of that. And, your talents are going to be different than mine. And focusing on those specific talents that we have been gifted through this lifetime, that's really powerful. That's really powerful. You said you like to read. So are there any, maybe one or two books that stand out to you that has really helped you kind of elevate when it comes to positivity?
I don't know if it's one or two. I read a lot. I mean, there's so many books that I've read that are on like personal development, like the Motivational Math, which talks about how, that only, there's really no such thing as motivation, really, like you can only do that from, it just comes from within. There's no one else that can come and motivate you. Like going to see a motivational speaker, it's never going to motivate you. It might fire you up for a minute, but it's never going to like build that fire inside of you. So that book was really good. There's been so many. I was in a book club for a while. We read a personal development book every month. And so there's just a lot of them. And a lot of the reading I do now too is about genetics. Like I love to learn about genetics and why our bodies do the way the things they do, why some people get sick living the same lifestyle as someone else that doesn't get sick, that lives completely healthy. And a lot of it has to do with genetics. So I've really kind of started focusing on, the scientific side of my body and how that affects how my brain works and my mindset and my health and wellness. So it's funny because I was at a medical symposium in November, and one of the people at our corporate team who's in the medical industry, we were talking for probably about a half an hour when she goes, Ryan, do you mind if I ask you what your background is? I said, I own a carpet cleaning company. And she's like, what? I thought you were going to say you were a doctor or, in the medical industry. She goes, how do you know all this stuff? And I said, I just become really passionate about this subject. And I've read a lot of books about it. And just because I didn't go to college for it doesn't mean that I can't be educated about something. I think that's a misconception in this world too, is that you have to have a degree to specialize in something. And I don't think that's necessarily true for a lot of things. And so I try to get better at everything every day. I try to learn something new about the things I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm. And that just arms you when you are in a situation where you need to speak about something, or maybe it's that you don't even speak about it, but you know where your heart lies with it because you've done the research, you've done the soul searching, you know what works best for you. And I love the fact that you have really embraced meeting people where they are. Right? That's so important. How was there something that happened, or what kind of shifted you in that? I know for me how I've handled it, but I'm always curious to hear how people, maybe there was when that light bulb went off that, you know what, it's out of my control. It's not about me. Was there anything that happened in, you know, a story that you might be willing to share where, or kind of maybe go around it if you have to, or I
I've
don't
got a
know.
lot of stories. I mean, I'm 37. I've never been married. I've been in a lot of different relationships. I don't have any kids. There's one, actually, I went through a pretty tough relationship about 3 years ago. I'll give you a couple stories. And I felt like I was never good enough. You know, like I was never important enough. And it was always like getting beat down, getting beat down, getting beat down. And we were up in the UP, in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is like in the middle of nowhere. And there's this old logging town, because it's right where Michigan and Wisconsin meet. And there's this old logging town called Hurley, Wisconsin. And it's like the old red light district of Wisconsin, where the loggers and iron workers would go and, you know, drink and party. And there was like all these gentlemen clubs, like the whole street gentlemen clubs. And it's like going back in history, because nothing's changed. It's like the craziest place on the planet. And we went there and we walk into the first place, and I'd only been there one time in my life. And I walk in the next year, and the bouncer at one of the places like, "Oh, you guys." Then the bartender there was like, "Hey guys, it's good to see you again." And they remembered us from one night the year before. And I'm like, if I can leave this impact on people that I've met one time, like, why am I worried about what this one girl has to say about me? Why do I care? And it was such a cool thing. And so then, like, fast forward a couple of years, and this past year I met someone that like was really, really amazing. And like we had this strong connection, very talented woman, very kind, very beautiful. And we had this crazy connection. I got my hopes way up, and ended up the timing wasn't right. The situation wasn't right. And I struggled with that for a while, because it wasn't the typical, what did I do wrong? Or, you know, you're a bad person, I don't like you. There was none of that. It was all mutual admiration and respect and attraction, but it just wasn't the right timing. And for me, that was difficult, because, I mean, it's one thing when someone says, "Hey, you're not right for me," or "I don't like you," or whatever. But when someone like actually adores you and cherishes you, but you just, "Hey, I can't right now," that makes it difficult. And so you have to just kind of say, well, hey, I had this really smart, talented, beautiful person that was interested in me and loved my energy and loved what I brought to the table. So maybe instead of saying, "Man, this sucks, it didn't work out," be like, "I'm blessed that it happened. I'm blessed that someone like that could be interested in me." And it kind of gives you confidence in a weird way that, hey, this very talented woman that I probably would never have approached in a million years, you know, wanted to be around me. And I think when you start to look at it from a different perspective is when the power happens.
Mm-hmm. Those are, you know, first and foremost, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing those moments in time, because I think that that's just a testament of who you are. And I know that there'll be people watching this that can really relate, especially in a relationship situation where it didn't work out. And it could be timing. It could just be where that particular person is at the time. You know, your timelines, I always talk about timelines and the ticks on the timeline, and you share this one tick in your timeline, but sometimes people's timelines are moving a little bit faster than yours, and vice versa. So thank you for sharing that, because I think that that's really important for people to sit with for a while. And I'm sure that you sat with that as well, and just realize, and that's how you saw the good in it, you know, in a situation where you kind of really didn't like it, and you probably still don't like it, right?
No, like
but it is, you know, this is where you guys are right now, and you have to meet people where they are. So that is, you're just living an amazing life. And again, there's that energy that you have is magnetic. It radiates throughout a whole convention center for me to go, wait a minute, who's that guy that just walked by? And that didn't happen. That rarely happens to me. And then I was like, literally had to leave my booth to go, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to find this guy, but I just have to say hello, because he needs to know that he has a gift, a really radiant gift. And then to find out that you have so much that you're offering this world through your kindness and your big heart, and through your business and assisting others to live an amazing life as well. So I want to thank you so much for being you. I know I'm probably making you blush, but I have to gush on you a little bit, because it's like literally your energy is magnetic, and I hope that people connect with you through you know, through this post and find out more about you, because we all elevate to a higher level just by knowing who you are, how you're uplifting others, and through your positivity and how you're seeing things differently. So you are definitely glowing out there. Go live an amazing life. And I'm gonna, to everyone out there, I hope that you have found inspiration and uplift through Ryan's words, through his journey. Many of you out there, I'm sure, especially on the relationship front, can relate to much of what Ryan was saying, and just go out there and see the good even in the not so good, and make that choice, and go GLAAL, go live an amazing life. So thank you, Ryan. Thank you to everyone for watching, and we will talk to you guys very, very soon. Be well.
Can I give one more thought?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. And just based on what you just said, because I've like, life is tough. Like, the world is harsh sometimes, you know, it's a tough place to be in. So like, I've taken this mindset. I don't even know when it happened, but it was a long time ago. It was probably high school or before high school, that I just wanted everything to be fun. Like, life should be fun. We talked about this on the phone earlier. Life should be fun. And I've had even, like, I'm at my grandma's house. This is her cottage on the lake. And there was one time, and we were talking, and she goes, Ryan, not everything has to be fun. And I said, well, why can't it be? No, why can't it be? Whether you're doing the dishes, you know, put some music on and dance. Like, I always live by that philosophy. Things should be fun. And if you're not having fun doing something, you're not doing the right things. So like, I want to end on that. So if life isn't fun for you, you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing in this life. So that's my last thought.
And with that last thought, I'm going to say goodbye, because that's a really good one. Go have fun today. See you guys later. Thank you.
Bye.